Imagine Ottawa wiring 25 billion into factories, only to discover Canada's modular builders are booked solid into next year. Picture board sections stacked at ports, while would-be buyers wait months for a build slot, not because of a shortage of ambition, but because of misaligned policy. And think of homebuyers hit with city fees that hike prices by up to 20%, while local officials shrug, saying they can't lower them even though they could. Before we get into it, grab your coffee and take a breath. This isn't just housing policy. It's a hard look at what happens when central planning meets real-world capacity. Let the facts settle in. Because here's the truth, this isn't going to work. Last spring, near Toronto, a mass timber facility showed off robotic arms, throwing up a 6-story frame in just 4 days. A flashy reminder of how fast modular can move. But on the West Coast, a major builder got over 1,000 inquiries in 1 month. They filled 200. Why? Because their lines were already maxed out. Across Canada, 300-plus modular firms employ nearly 200,000 workers and generate billions annually. But most still crank out single-unit homes or specialty non-res builds, not the mid-rise housing governments now demand. That gap between political promises and factory limits is what policymakers keep ignoring. The federal Build Canada Homes Plan wants to be a national builder, deploying on Crown land, old-school grounds, shuttered military sites, empty lots. The idea? Get around private land constraints. It sets aside $25 billion to scale up domestic module makers, timber innovators, steel firms, concrete kit players, promising savings of up to 15% through volume. Sounds good in theory. Another $10 billion fund would offer long-term loans to build social housing for seniors, students, Indigenous communities, veterans. Ottawa claims it will produce 100,000 units in 5 years. They're reviving a tax credit to nudge developers back toward multi-unit builds, worth up to $15,000 per unit. And first-time buyers get up to $50,000 in tax relief on homes under $1 million, higher if they're raising a family. But there's one problem: money doesn't build capacity, not when modular shops are already running full tilt. Even with federal funds, current designs focus on single units, not urban mid-rise. Add in custom tweaks, layout, finishes, energy upgrades, and those fast build promises vanish. Lead times stretch by 2 to 4 weeks. Then there are spring road bans, holding up oversized loads until June. Result: 6-week module delays on average. Skilled trades are also in short supply. Crane operators, finished crews, quality control techs, many require 3 to 5 years of training. Meanwhile, shops scramble to fill shifts. Building new lines costs roughly $200 million each. Without them, output stays flat, even as demand balloons. Now zoom out. City development fees can add 20 to 36% to a build's total cost in hot markets, like Vancouver and Toronto. That's not a supply chain issue. That's government gouging. Build Canada Homes proposes cutting those fees in half for 5 years, promising Ottawa will cover the shortfall. But local councils say they're legally blocked by provincial laws from adjusting rates. Who's right? Depends who you ask. In Alberta cities, levies can add 25% to costs. In Halifax, around 15%, though that city slashed fees 40% for a modular pilot project. Proof that policy wiggle room exists if the political will does. Critics rightly point out that cities could ease these levies now. They just don't. Why? Because bureaucracies rarely shrink voluntarily. They'll wait for federal backstops, guaranteeing bloated budgets remain intact. Let's talk numbers. Canada faced a 900,000 home gap in late 2023. Hitting 6 million new units by 2030 means building 500,000 per year. Yet in the first half of 2024, major metros started just 68,000 homes, a 4% rise from last year, but still just 56% of the needed pace. Pre-sale condo deals collapsed in early 2024, cutting off the private financing that once drove 30% of urban starts. Now 100,000 planned units are frozen in limbo. Immigration adds nearly 500,000 people annually. Households are getting smaller. Demand now tops 600,000 units per year. This gap won't close with press releases. Add to that the red tape, vaulted ceilings, heat pumps, EV hookups. Custom tweaks require multiple board approvals. Modular or not, each must pass 6 regulatory hurdles. The average approval window? 120 days. The fix, we're told, is a national design catalog with 10 pre-approved blueprints. It could cut review time to 30 days. Other countries already do it. So why hasn't Ottawa? Or take the proposed one window permitting portal with deadlines and penalties for delays. Sounds efficient until you remember how Ottawa handled passports, airports, and RCMP backlogs. Will a digital portal really whip local zoning boards into shape? One West Coast modular CEO says their line is booked until 2026. No shop expansion, no meaningful growth. Even optimists don't expect relief before 2030. Meanwhile, government-friendly media hail pilot factories, while the rest of the sector drowns in backlogs. Policy experts want 10% of accelerator funds reserved for modular pilots. They want special zoning codes to cut red tape by 70%. All valid. But let's be blunt, this should have happened 5 years ago. We're still debating it while prices climb and working Canadians get priced out. Here's what a rational plan would do. Lock in blueprints, approve 10 national templates, and make them law. Cities must fast track within 30 days, no exceptions. Cut the fees. Amend provincial laws. Let towns use tiered fees, 0 for modular pilots, half for mid-rise density, full for suburban sprawl. Fund lines, not buzzwords. Put $500 million into real shop expansions. 5 new plants, each capable of 15,000 units per year. Permit accountability. Force permit offices to deliver or pay financial penalties. No more passing the buck. Prioritize remote and indigenous builds. Allocate $2 billion to areas where freight costs add 30% or more. Deliver 5,000 units in 3 years. Here's the bottom line. Government can't buy its way out of structural failure. Throwing billions at bottlenecks without legal reform, faster permitting, or true private sector partnership is a waste. This plan won't work, not because modular is flawed, but because government won't get out of its own way. History rhymes, power rebrands. Stay inquisitive. Will Ottawa's moves secure a fresh era of innovation on home soil, or will they simply spark a richer, self-reliant ecosystem in communities across the country? Drop your take in the comments. What single move will tip the scales? If this look gave you fresh insight on hidden conflicts shaping our future, tap like and ring the bell for more keen views. Give it to a friend who thinks circuit bits are mere board lines. I'll see you in the next deep dive into our complex global landscape.